Hey, I'm Kai, and today is one of the most exciting new gear days I've had in a long while. I apologise if I look tired, I was up pretty much all night refreshing the tracking for this one. In this video, I'm going to be going through some of my first impressions of the ENGL Powerball 2. This is a 4-channel all-in-one style head that sets out to cover an awful lot of ground. The first thing I should mention is that I did go through the custom shop for this one, so it's got the red snakeskin toe legs as well as blue LEDs. I figured the blue LEDs would just add something a little bit unique to this one, and the snakeskin toe legs perfectly matches the Zilla cab you see behind me. Ultimately though, it's all of the same innards as a regular Powerball 2. We have a clean channel and a crunch channel. These share bass and middle controls as well as bright switch and bottom boosts, but they do have independent gain and volume and independent treble controls, which is something really unique that I really like. There are 2 high gain channels with a shared EQ. This is lead 1 and lead 2. These have independent low-end boost controls as well as a mid-boost switch. We also have the standard power amp controls, so we have depth and we have presence, and we also have 2 separate master volume controls. The back of the amp is super simple. There is an effects loop with a blend control. This can take it from dry all the way to 100% wet, or you can even have it blended in the middle for parallel effects loop type stuff. Last thing to mention is that there is a noise gate control on the back, however this only affects the 2 high gain channels. I'm going to blast through some quick tones with this amp now, and everything is running through the sewer reactive load box. I'll start on a greenback impulse response for the lower gain tones, and then I'll switch out to a V30 when we get onto some high gain stuff. First we will check out the low gain channel with my Schecter Nick Johnston. This has recently been restrung with 9 to 50 gauge strings in drop D. I'll throw on some reverb from the UAFX Heavenly Plate since this amp doesn't have any reverb of its own, and we'll go for a classic Strat clean sort of thing. I'll switch out to another guitar now and we'll see what else this low gain channel has to offer. Sticking with the clean channel, this is the gain just above noon, and we're already getting into that pushed clean, edge of breakup kind of territory. We'll switch over to the crunch channel of the amp and I'll try and get some dad rock style crunch out of this, see what sort of classic tones this has to offer. I'll also engage the bright and the bottom switch so that we can try and get some scooped classic things going on here. I really like what that's doing actually. I think that's kind of the crunch tone that I would normally gravitate towards. Now pushing the gain up on this crunch channel and disabling the bright and bottom switches should give us a much more balanced tone that's probably going to be pretty suitable for some classic metal style riffs. Now for the high gain channels, I'm going to switch the guitar out for my PRS S2 in drop C, and I'll swap the impulse response out for the mega oversized cabinet with V30s. So I am getting a touch of noise on the high gain channel, so I'm going to engage the noise gate in the back just to about halfway or so. I absolutely love that this has a built-in noise gate because this is just a super tight gate. One thing I did notice, especially on the first lead channel, is that you kind of have to push the treble up more than you'd think to get past that boomy, muddy sort of sound. But when you've got that treble turned up, it sounds fantastic. I'll set the second lead channel up with the mid boost engaged. This swaps the mid control over to the second mid knob. You'll notice that the second lead channel is quite a lot tighter than the first, even with the gain pulled up even higher. Now this channel also works great for leads, and as I haven't played any leads yet in this video, let's give that a try with some wet effects from my pedal board. I absolutely love how that sounds for lead tones. It's just super smooth, super sustaining, but you can also tell that it's got a lot of cut to it. So before I get into the review portion of this video, I do need to mention this video is sponsored by ENGL, as they have provided me a partial discount for this amplifier. Let's talk about it though. While everything looks pretty overwhelming at the first glance, it all makes a lot of sense very quickly. Everything is labelled in a very simple manner. It's just a matter of figuring out which controls belong to which channels. That shouldn't take you any more than a couple of minutes. The tones are incredible though, and I am so happy with how this amp sounds. This hits exactly the mark that it was hoping to when I was buying it. The cleans stay super clean, which is something that I find very important in an amp. I really like to get those nice high headroom, chimey, pristine cleans. The crunch channel does a fantastic job of that British stack crunch, that sort of dad rock kind of thing. Then you have the two high gain channels, with one of them doing your thick nu metal kind of tones, and the other one doing tight, chunky modern metal stuff. Really, I may go as far as to say this is the perfect amp for me. It hits exactly the tones I want it to, with the way that I like them to be. I love versatile amps that do a little bit of everything, which is kind of why I reviewed the Crab Brown i50 so highly. That said, this ENGL Powerball 2 is in a totally different league. This thing is phenomenal. Across the whole range of gain, the tones aren't just usable, they are incredible. One of my personal favourite things about this amp is that everything is easily accessible on the front face of the amp. I'm someone who sticks all of my amps in the corner of the room, as you can see from my setup, and it's so annoying to have to dive round the back of the amplifier to try and tweak things like the depth and presence controls, or even the on-off switch of the 5153. The only thing on the back that I may find myself tweaking is the noise gate, but ultimately I could leave that one off and use the 14 Zool on my pedal board if I really got that frustrated about it. Obviously though, having everything on the front face of this amp means that it is a massive amp. Make no mistake here, this thing is incredibly heavy. It's about 26 kilos. Now I'm not against that, but I'm not someone who plays live, so I don't have to worry about lugging it up a flight of stairs, for instance. There are a couple of other minor negatives that I would like to mention, and the first one being that it doesn't come with any kind of foot switch. At the price that this amp costs, I think it would have been a good touch to have a foot switch included. I can see why it wouldn't though. The ENGL foot switches, especially like the Z9, are incredibly bulky and super expensive. If they bundle a foot switch like this with the amplifier, the whole price of the thing goes up. That price hike wouldn't be too fair on people that already own the foot switch, for instance, or people that are unlikely to use the actual foot switch. I reckon some people are going to be disappointed by the lack of reverb on this amplifier, but personally that's not something that bothers me at all. I'm someone who loves using the reverb on my pedal board instead. Also, the traditional spring style reverb that's built into a lot of amps just really doesn't suit something that's a modern metal high gain monster like this. Really, you'd be more likely to see a digital reverb, which people would then have their own complaints and reservations about anyway. Rather than end this review portion on the negatives though, I want to bring this back and say that I am in love with this amplifier. This is one of the most exciting pieces of gear I have ever had to demo on this channel, and I'm so glad to be able to say that. I do hope to do a full review of this one in the near future, so be on the lookout and let me know in the comment section down below what you'd like to see me do with it. That is everything that I've got for this video, but before I go, I just want to thank ENGL once again for sponsoring this channel. It's such a major collaboration, and I am so grateful for it. I will leave my Tomman affiliate link in the description box down below if you would like to check out the ENGL Powerball 2 for yourself. Until next time though, I've been Kai.